We begin with a complicated issue in the New Jersey jail system. A transgender female inmate has been moved to a men's prison after impregnating two other biological female inmates. We're talking about Demi Moore, or Demi Minor rather. Don't want to make that mistake. Demi Minor. She was born male, but she started her transition as a woman in 2020. Minor has been blogging about her experience in the men's
jail. Wrote this email saying, "I feel that individual is not a suitable fit for the female dorm." But the new detainee was allowed to stay, and early the next morning, Rose says the prisoner her.
Just grabs me, put me behind, and take my pants off.
All right, y'all. So look, this video right here is multiple situations that took place with trans people over different periods of time. The last video was from 2024, and the first video is a recent video also. I'm just saying that because I know there's going to be somebody out there who is so happy that they seen it before everybody else, and they got to let us know. So if you've seen this before, that's great for you. We are happy for you, but a lot of people haven't seen it, so we're going to get into the video. But yes, I was just letting y'all know that before we get into the video, that these are from different time spans, and yeah, we're finna get into the video. Alright, what's up with y'all? I'm back again with another video, and before I jump into the video, I'm definitely gonna start it off with some positivity. I want to tell all my supporters out there that's rocking with me day to day on a consistent basis that I definitely do appreciate y'all, and I hope that everything is going the way that you want it to go in your life, and I'm wishing y'all nothing but the best in every aspect of your life. And when I say this, I'm only talking to my supporters, those who reciprocate the same energy back to me, and to those who say the same thing back to me in return. And yeah, man, I want to send y'all nothing but peace, blessings, and prosperous energy y'all way. And yeah, man, let's get straight into the situation at hand, because we got a lot to talk about and a lot to listen to. So basically, long story short, we are here because of one situation that led up to multiple situations. And what I mean by that, we were really initially finna talk about Tremaine Coral. He's a 51-year-old trans woman, and yeah, man, he's in jail and he's getting the inmates pregnant, but he's doing it forcefully. So y'all know what I mean when I say that he's taking it. Yes, this crazy fucker and they're taking it. But what's so crazy to me is that they are allowing these people that hasn't had a full gender change to be in there with the women. It's just so crazy to me. Now, the other things that I was talking about that led up to other situations was that I found more incidences where these trans are getting the people pregnant in the jails, and they are actually taking it. So I just feel like it's a shit show in this situation, you know, in all of these situations, to actually allow a real human being male to be in another cell with another human being woman. And yes, I got to be so literal when I'm saying this. We are genetically men and women at birth and things like this. So to actually put these men and women without the full change into another cell with someone else is just kind of crazy to me. You know, that's just my personal opinion. And like I always say, you know, if you're new here and things like that, I don't have anything against trans or people who are gay or anything in the area. You know, I really don't give a damn. What you choose to do is on you, and that's your life. I'm not going to stress myself about what the hell you're doing with your cat and your whatever the hell you got going on. You feel me? But yeah, I just don't like the knowing that these men still have their private parts and they can actually do things like this. You know, I mean, if they want to bump whatever they got made down there, you know, you could bump it all day, bump the cat, do whatever you choose, whatever the hell you choose to do, and all the other type of stuff. But I mean, I feel like that a real grown man shouldn't be in there with another woman, because they can do anything that they want to. They're stronger and all the other type of stuff. Once you get your change, then you can be considered as a woman or man to everybody else, you know, and things like that. But hey, it is what it is. We're finna get into the video. Like I said before, it's other incidences where people are getting pregnant in jail also. It's just crazy. Let's get into the video, and I want to know your personal thoughts and opinions on this situation. And yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Let's get into the video though, and hit the like button, man. I'm dropping consistent content. That's all I ask y'all to do. But let's go.
We're back with an I-10 exclusive. A former prisoner in the women's jail on Rikers Island is now suing New York City. She says she was raped by a heterosexual man who was posing as a transgender woman behind bars. As the I-Team's Chris Glorioso reports, the alleged victim says jail staff ignored her when she warned them the inmate was lying about their gender identity.
I'll be scarred for the rest of my life.
Court filings identify her only as Rose Doe, and in this exclusive interview, she wanted to be clear about one thing. Rose says she has no bias towards transgender individuals. Her concern is with the City Department of Correction failing to prevent an imposter from pretending to be transgender behind bars. It was April of 2022 when Rose says jail guards brought a transgender woman into a female dorm. According to DOC policy, as much as possible, the department seeks to accommodate an individual's desired housing placement in accordance with their gender identity. But Rose says this inmate immediately showed their gender identity was a sham. Investigative records from Rikers show Rose and other female inmates immediately believed the new inmate was clearly male who infiltrated when they are clearly not transgender, that the prisoner stated openly and publicly that he was not gay nor trans, and that he's a whole man that likes women.
When this prisoner walked into the women's dorm, what did the prisoner say?
His introduction was, I'm not a transgender. I'm straight. I like women.
He said he was a straight man in a women's jail.
Yeah. After the captains walked out, that was just hello.
According to her lawsuit, on April 6, 2022, Rose Doe complained the supposedly trans inmate followed her into the bathroom and groped her. That same evening, the acting warden of the jail wrote this email saying, I feel that individual is not a suitable fit for the female dorm. But the new detainee was allowed to stay, and early the next morning, Rose says the prisoner raped her.
He just grabs me, put me behind, and take my pants off. He raped me.
It's laziness.
And it's just crazy that this was said and nothing was done. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, what the hell are y'all even there for? What the hell are y'all doing? They really don't give a damn about you when you're in jail. Let's just be 100% honest. They don't give a damn about you. They treat you like nothing, and they feel like you're beneath them. And I feel like now, if you did anything pertaining to children or taking something, you definitely are beneath them and things like that. Yes, personally, you are the scum of the earth, but ultimately, you know, a lot of people just made simple mistakes and they ended up in jail and stuff like that. Well, not simple, but you know what I mean? They made some mistakes out there, and they landed them in jail and stuff like that. But to actually go to jail, you know, where you're supposed to be getting housed and fed and things like that due to taxpayers' dollars and stuff like that, and still can't get any type of rights at all, basically, you know, it's just crazy to me. And I know some people are going to be like, well, you shouldn't have rights. You did wrong and this and this and that. True to a certain extent, but we all are human beings and we all make mistakes, in my personal opinion. I feel like that, you know, they shouldn't be ignored, especially when it's something so serious like this. They don't understand the mental trauma and turmoil that they cause on people by actually allowing certain things to happen to them, especially get your innocence taken, you know, not saying that you were a virgin, but just to get your innocence taken, you know. And it's just crazy to me. But hey, it is what it is. You know, they're going to do what the hell they want to do. Let's get back into the video, though.
Incompetence.
Rose's attorney, Nicholas Liakis, told the I-Team the failure of the correction department to identify an obvious imposter not only endangered the entire female dorm, but also all trans prisoners who fought for the right to be housed in facilities that align with their gender identities.
When someone is claiming to be something they're not, and it's to the detriment of the entire community now, because it will cause concern.
And advocating for improved conditions of...
Last year, advocates for trans prisoners implored New York City Council and the DOC to make it easier for trans, gender non-binary, and intersex detainees to get their choice of jail housing. Federal stats do show trans inmates are about 10 times more likely than others to report sexual victimization behind bars.
There's absolutely no evidence that people pretending to be transgender is a common occurrence, whereas there's ample evidence supporting the risk of violence and assault to transgender women being housed in a male facility.
Rose Doe agrees trans prisoners should be treated with dignity behind bars. She says Rikers guards did them a disservice by ignoring her warning.
They just took my complaint and they said that they were going to do something about it, and they never did.
The Department of Correction declined to comment on the lawsuit from Rose Doe, citing the active nature of the case. The I-Team is not naming the alleged rape because that person has not been criminally charged, but that inmate has pleaded guilty in the assault case that led to their incarceration in Rikers in the first place. That inmate now housed in an upstate prison for males. Chris Glorioso.
They need to whoop cuz too.
So in modern America, if you point out that biological sex is a physical reality, you can be fired from your job. The Washington Post will send a reporter to your house to intimidate you, but it doesn't.
This is the second story.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Thanks for joining us tonight. We begin with a complicated issue in the New Jersey jail system. A transgender female inmate has been moved to a men's prison after impregnating two other biological female inmates. We're talking about Demi Moore, or Demi Minor rather. Don't want to make that mistake. Demi Minor. She was born male, but she started her transition as a woman in 2020. Minor has been blogging about her experience in the men's facility. She says she suffered physical and psychological abuse despite her own actions of getting women pregnant in the female facility.
I just wanted you to see the environment, so they put 5 of us in here, and I'm just being patient right now, so it's difficult, it's frustrating. I just wanted you to see what's going on.
Now, in New Jersey, you have the opportunity as an inmate to decide where you go if you identify as a female, even though he clearly looked like a male there. But that's in the Jersey prison system. Let's get to our guests from both sides of the fence who both agree no one with a penis should be housed with females behind bars. But then my guests split sharply and quickly after that. Take a look.
Is there a danger in allowing people to decide their gender in the prison system when there is no paperwork or history to prove it? Your thoughts on that, Jamie?
My personal thoughts on this subject are, if you have not gone through the entire gender reassignment surgery, I've never heard of people going to the prison of their choice. You know what I'm saying?
It happens in New Jersey, and that's the reality
Apparently
there.
it does. Apparently it does. But I am of the belief that if you still have a penis, then you belong in a men's prison, even if it's in a protected unit. But I don't feel like you belong in a female population where this sort of thing can and will happen.
Jamie, does this hurt your movement when people hear stories like this? Someone who says they are transgender female and then goes into a prison and get 2 females pregnant. Does that hurt the movement or those who are fighting for transgender rights around this country?
Oh, it absolutely does. It absolutely does, because it feeds into the fears that people already have where trans people are concerned. They already fear that females' safety is at risk if they're around a transgender woman. And so this situation just makes it look bad. It just does. There's no defending it.
And Tex, that's what we had here in the city of Houston a few years back when the bathroom ordinance came up. This is the type of thing you guys were concerned about as conservatives out there.
Absolutely. And I was very excited to be the tip of the spear on that and to do my part. Obviously, Marinese Parker came after me. She didn't like me standing up for the real women and children of our city. But that's what it took, was real men to stand up and be able to protect. Let me be crystal clear. What's happening right now is that the truth is advancing on the LGBTQ deception that was over our city here in Houston, all across Texas, and all across America, and all across the globe. There's no such thing as a trans anything. There's no transgenders. There's only 2. There's no trans woman. There's only a woman. Only a man can get a woman pregnant, and only a woman can get pregnant. So all this confusion is all come about because of the Democrats writing these crazy laws and these policies. And now it's all being exposed. And Yahuwah, which is the Hebrew name for God, he hates pride. And it says right there in Proverbs 11:2 that when pride comes, then comes disgrace. And so this is why this community is saying, oh, this isn't making us look good. Because the bottom line is this: there's only 2 genders. What is right, and what is wrong is wrong. And these people are evil, they're wicked, they're perverse, and this is what you get. You don't get anything good from it. So the Democrats agree with this.
Tex, let's hear from Jamie really quick. Go ahead, Jamie.
I literally was in agreement about the fact that nobody with a penis should be in a woman's prison. I said that. But to turn around and to say that I don't exist,
you do not. You're a man.
Existing this way for 38 years.
1 second, Tex.
You're a man.
I'm not a man, not in the eyes of anyone.
Tex, 1 second. You can only hear one at a time. Hold on, Tex. Go ahead, Jamie.
If you find a part of me that's a man, you know what you can do with it. That's what I have to say about that, because there is no part of me left that was ever. I wasn't born a man, I was born an infant, and I grew into a girl who grew into a woman. And whether you like that or not, that's just the fact of the matter.
Okay. You've been deceived, and that's the fact of the matter. You are a man. And so this is the craziness that I'm talking about. We let these people out of the closet and everything's getting crazy. What we all need to do is we need to return everybody back to their closets, lock the door, and throw away the key. What do you think of that?
Could you be more prejudiced?
It has nothing to do with being prejudiced. It's called being what is right, what is good, and evil is evil. You live a very evil, wicked, and perverse lifestyle, and the evidence is before all the viewers. All the viewers are looking at you right now. Tens of millions of people are looking at you, and they're saying, that dude is a man. They're not saying that you're a girl. I hate to, bust your bubble, but that's reality. Live in the real world. Live in the real world.
I'm a comedian. I'm not evil. I'm a comedian. I'm not evil. First of all, okay? I'm not coming on here and calling you names and telling you what you are or not. That's on you to define yourself with. But you are not going to sit here and tell me
1 second, Tex. 1 second, Tex. Give her a chance to respond.
You're not going to sit here and tell me what I am or am not. I know who and what I am, and you do not define me, sir. Nor does your God or anyone else. I define me. In this world, I define me.
Sure. So the whole pride movement within the LGBTQ community is that you guys are so full of pride, and you guys are sitting there puffing yourself up. You're so arrogant, and you make everything being offensive and repulsive, and that you're superior amongst all of us that are normal. And that is wrong. That's full of pride, and that is evil. It is not good. And that is wrong. So the LGBTQ community is being exposed, that all the perversion is being shown. And this is why we get crazy news stories like this. This is why we get men sitting there trying to pretend to be a woman and playing basketball like a Brittany Griner, who's actually a guy. It's not a woman. You get these people out here jumping in the swimming pool.
Tex, that's not accurate. I'm not going to let you just go wild with misinformation here. Brittany Griner is a female.
The deception is what's being exposed. And so much so, in this case right here in prison, it's being exposed. It's all in due time. It's all in due time.
All righty. Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We appreciate you.
It doesn't change reality. You can say gravity isn't real, but if you jump off the roof of your garage, you're still going to get hurt. And that's true for biological sex. It is, in fact, real, whether the authorities admit it or not. Officials in New Jersey are learning that lesson this week. 2 female inmates at a supposedly all-women's prison in New Jersey have just become pregnant. You wonder how that happened. Well, it turns out those women had sexual encounters with another inmate who was a biological man passing as a woman. Now, some people predicted that this would happen, and they were laughed at, mocked, and attacked as bigots. Kara Dansky is at the very top of that list. She said this years ago on our show. She's the president of the U.S. chapter of the Women's Declaration International, author of the book, The Abolition of Sex, How the Transgender Agenda Harms Women and Girls, and we are happy to have Kara Dansky back. Kara, thanks so much for coming on. I'll never forget the first time, and it had to have been at least 4 years ago, when you said, if we keep going down this path, we're going to have biological men in women's prisons. And you were right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Though the story that's happening in New Jersey is obviously horrible for so many reasons. We need to not have men being housed in women's prisons. But a couple takeaways from this that I just want to point out are, first of all, the state is not getting away with this by telling its residents that they are housing men in women's prisons. What they are doing, of course, is telling the residents that they are housing so-called transgender women or trans women in women's prisons, suggesting that there is some sort of subcategory of women that is called transgender women or trans women, and it's not true. The fact of this story shoots a hole right through the trope that trans women are women.
And then you know what? A lot of people don't understand what the hell is going on in their faces. That's why people don't be giving a damn about going to jail and stuff like that. And it's only going to get, you know, worse over time, because people are going to be feeling like, okay, if I can say I'm trans, hell, I can go shoot every up I got, 15, 20 folks, go to jail for life, and I'm going to be around women forever. You see what I'm saying? Like, they don't be thinking about that, but at the same time, they really don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like that they should put their foot down in these type of situations, because, you know, there's nothing wrong with gay people, you know. And I mean, somebody gonna get on here and try to get mad at me. You condoning this behavior? No, I just don't give a damn, bro. Let these people, if they want to pop it, let them pop it. They want to throw it, let them throw it across the room. Who give a damn? It's not that important to me. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say that, you know, they shouldn't be allowing men where women are, especially when they're locked in cages, basically. Like, you got people locked in there with a damn convict. You know what I'm saying? They could take something from them. They strong as hell, probably cock strong. You know what I'm saying? It's all type of different stuff that goes into that. No, that shouldn't be what's up at all. You know, but hey, they just allowing it, and it is what it is. Let's get back into the video, though.
Society has been taught that we are supposed to say and think that trans women are women, but obviously that is not true, because the individuals that are the focus of the story impregnated women, and every thinking adult, no matter what the President of the United States has to say on the matter, knows that there is no category of women who can impregnate women. So I really want to thank you for highlighting this story. And I also just want to point out that this is not just a problem in New Jersey, this is a problem across the country. I know that we have talked previously about how the state of California recently enacted a law at the end of 2020, which went into effect in 2021, which mandates that men be housed in women's prisons on the basis of their so-called gender identity if they say that they are women. Washington State has a similar policy. However, this is not just happening in blue states, this is happening across the country. As far as I know, 49 states plus the District of Columbia have some form of law or policy in place that mandates the housing of men in women's prisons.
Why is it left to you and J.K. Rowling and a couple of others to point this out? Where are the physicians who know perfectly well that what you're saying is true, the biologists who know it every bit as well? Why are they going along with this when they know it's a lie?
So the entire medical establishment in the United States has been captured by so-called trans ideology. And what I really want all Americans across the political spectrum to understand is that trans is not a civil rights movement to protect a marginalized community of people. It is a multi-trillion-dollar industry that is pushing this. It is paying the medical establishment. It is paying most media outlets. It is paying our government. It is paying our schools. It is at all levels, elementary schools through college, to push the idea that the material reality of sex does not exist, and that what is more important than the material reality of sex is so-called gender identity. This is all being pushed by a multi-trillion-dollar industry in the guise of a civil rights movement. It's all a lie.
And these are the people providing our medical care. It's really scary when you put it
They
that
are.
way.
I know someone who is a medical student right now, and she is horrified about what's being taught. I do just want to say really quickly, there's something that has been announced in the past couple of weeks called the Women's Bill of Rights. This was drafted by members of the Women's Liberation Front and by members of Independent Women's Voices, supported by my organization, Women's Declaration International, as well as Concerned Women for America. And I really hope that one of the members of Congress introduces it. Thank you so much.
I hope so too. Great to see you. We'll be right back.
My name is Amy Chikala.
Okay, now this is the people talking about Tremaine, the initial story that I was going to talk about until I found the other two. Now Tremaine been in jail cutting up, and he got a long, lengthy history of bull stuff, you know, over the years. I just feel like that at some point in time, you got to stop giving these people the chance to have jail time and do what you need to do with the trash. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say what I say. Now, I don't condone violence at all, but I definitely don't condone what these people are doing to innocent people, and it need to be taken care of to the maximum extent. And I mean the maximum extent. The maximum. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they should get done the same way that they're doing people, but you know, they're so freaky and kinky, they might like it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody taking their illnesses and shit. So, you know, I feel like they should be taken care of, you know. But hey, this is a lengthy story. They finna break down a lot of things about him, and I want y'all to listen and tell me your thoughts and opinions on this whole situation because it's crazy as hell. Let's get into it.
Incarcerated and the founder or founding member and the executive director of Woman to Woman, which is a small nonprofit we created to assist women who are coming out of prison, transitioning to the free world, and it just turned into a lot of advocacy. This person, Tremaine Carroll, has been in the system since they were a kid. You know, the first case was in the late 80s when this person was only like 17 years old for a pretty violent crime. It was a kidnapping and a robbery, and they were charged with 3 counts of forced oral copulation, which were dropped in a plea bargain, and this person just spiraled after that. It was just charge after charge. That first incident resulted in a 10-year bid, and not long after that, they went back to prison. Even the prison record is full of rules violations that are from the most serious to the most ridiculous, from the time, you know, they were in county jail all the way until this most recent rape charge. This complaint states that there was a rape that took place inside of this shared cell, and I really need to paint a picture of what this cell looks like. In the Central California Women's Facility, which was designed specifically for women, as was the prison across the street that was allocated for men a few years ago, these cells are 8-person cells. There's 4 bunk beds, there's 8 lockers, there's a shower, there's a toilet, there's 2 sinks, and a small desk and a chair. So this is like a dorm. This is dorm style living. This isn't a 2-person cell. So I don't know if anybody took that into consideration when creating the legislation either, but this individual doesn't obviously house well with other people, so the room wasn't full. There were several beds open, so there was plenty of opportunity to be alone with a new victim to assault them. And the shower it's a dark, large shower that is a place where assaults can occur regularly, and it's pretty convenient if you're a rapist, you know, or an alleged rapist. The sad part is that the other people are aware. Everybody knows, and there's just so much evil that people are not understanding, and I don't really want them to understand, because if I can, you know, put in the work and get this taken care of without having to traumatize the world, that would be great. But people really have no idea how much human evil really exists, and to have someone suggest that somebody moves into that room with a predator, to have staff fully aware of the threat of danger, of imminent danger, and still follow through with that bed move, to have a sergeant sign off on it, to have a warden be fully aware of this person's, you know, motives and recorded behaviors, is gross negligence, and it's deliberate indifference, and these people's lives just don't matter.
My name is Lauren Bone. I'm the legal director of Women's Liberation Front, and we have brought suit against the state of California for SB 132 for housing men in women's prisons. So that is our big fight right now with it. We've opposed SB 132 from the beginning. testified against it and pushed against it. And when we weren't able to successfully stop it, we were approached by women who are incarcerated and asked to represent them to challenge the lawsuit or to challenge the law, challenge the bill, which we filed.
And I think that, the people who are ignoring certain things should definitely be going to jail as well. There's no way in the hell you were notified about certain things and then take action on it and still get a chance to get away with certain things. No, you need to be held accountable just like everybody else is. Don't y'all feel the same way about this same situation? But hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Let's get back into the video.
In 2021, bill which we filed in 2021 to do, and which is still ongoing today. Previous to SB 132, biological male inmates were allowed to, on a case-by-case individualized basis, be placed in women's facilities, but not if they hadn't had surgery, and it was always very individualized. What the bill did, what SB 132 did, is it took away all of that safeguarding. It took away the ability to make individualized case assessments. It made it illegal to discriminate on the basis of anatomy, and it, including things like hormones. You don't have to identify as a woman anymore. You can identify as non-binary or many other things. And so what the results are is that there's 50 men who are housed there. There's hundreds more on a wait list who are still being processed. Nearly all of them have penises. They have their male anatomy, and most of them are not taking hormones. There's many of them that go by he, him, that don't identify as women. They don't even pretend to, but the state doesn't have the ability under SB 132 to deny most of those requests.
The law doesn't have any requirements other than self-identification. There's no need to present as female. There's no need to have any kind of reassignment surgery, to be on hormone therapy. You don't even have to want to. And just plainly state that you're a woman is all you have to do. And I've done my homework, I've done research. None of these people who have transferred are using the two-spirit, Mayhew, non-binary status. They've all declared that they're women. In the whole Department of Corrections, there's 1,900, roughly 1,900 trans-identified inmates. Of that entire number, there's, I think, 347 who have attempted or are attempting to transfer. And as far as I know, last time that these numbers were available, there were 44 who had successfully transferred. The number, I don't really trust it because they don't keep statistics that are based on reality anymore anyway. They're based on feelings. So if you were to go look at the population reports, it reflects that there's like 40 women in San Quentin and 200 women in Pelican Bay, and we know that's not true. So it could be a lot higher. They used to have specific identification numbers, and because they felt stigmatized by this, they gave them an opportunity to all get new numbers, which is completely unheard of. Nobody gets to just have a new state ID number because it stigmatizes them or somehow makes them uncomfortable. This is yet another insanely supreme privilege that's not accessible to anyone else in the department.
Tremaine Carroll, who has been charged with these 2 counts of rape and also 1 count of dissuading a witness from testifying, Tremaine Carroll is actually a party in our case, is one of 4 male inmates who sued, who did a motion to intervene, who is represented by the Transgender Law Center and the ACLU and some other folks, and actually has, put himself out there as the poster child for why these policies are good and why we should accept these policies and why he deserves to be placed in women's facilities for his own rights and safety. So I think what it says is that people don't listen to women. That's what these charges say, is that women said that these things were happening. They said that they were going to happen, and people haven't listened. There's 2 victims. So they didn't listen to the first victim, and he got to have a second victim. And we're aware this is not a special, exceptional case. He's not just a bad apple. I'm not saying that every person in there who's been transferred is a sex offender, but a third of them are sex offenders, and there are many different. There's a lot of examples of sexual assault, of sexual harassment, intimidation, voyeurism, exhibitionism, physical abuse, physical intimidation, and these are foreseeable. These are the state's own numbers that say that a third of them are sex offenders that are being transferred in. So I think what it says is that they don't listen to women. The state of California doesn't listen to women, and they don't care about women.
You know, we can't leave women out of legislation that affects women. If the female population was included in the frameworking of this, it would have made a huge difference. And California is notorious for their lack of transparency, and this really needs national attention on so many levels. Our whole legislature is so corrupt. It doesn't matter what the people want, what they say, they're just doing whatever they want. It seems like every state office is infected all the way to the top. And in order to save the nation, we've got to save California.
All right, that's the end of the video. You know, just a sad and unfortunate situation where people aren't protected like they should be, especially when they get millions and billions of dollars each year from taxpayers and stuff like that. You know, to actually have a child by somebody who took something from you got to be some of the most traumatizing situations to go through. But, you know, it's just life, and it's just what's been going on, and I feel like there's no justification for it. And that I feel like it should be maximum punishment for these type of situations, in my personal opinion. But overall, I don't say what I have to say about the situation. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on this. And I really do hate that these people aren't getting the justice that they need. You know, even though they are inmates, they did do something wrong according to the law. I just don't rock with it. But hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions, and I will holler at y'all later on another video. All right.